raggedy. What are you talking about, man? You look great.
Oh, did I look raggedy?
No, you look great, girl. Hey, Evelyn, I'm Anissa. I'm the one who's been messaging you.
Thank you.
I'm the one who's been messaging you. I'm up here in the front. I have all your questions already.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. This is Digital Media. This is our team.
Hey.
So to introduce Evelyn, you guys, she's a digital content creator with a passion for communities of the African diaspora. By day, she's a video producer and a social media manager for naturallycurly.com. And in her free time, she produces her own YouTube channel, which you guys have been watching like nonstop. It's fine. She's also a co-creator of Awesome While Black, which is a nonfiction web series dedicated to telling the stories of the city's remaining Black population. So that's Evelyn, you guys. Let's give her a hand. So I have a list of questions. I'm just gonna rail off, and then we're gonna open the floor for everyone else.
Also, I can barely see you. You're like half barely.
Cool. Is it cool? Am I
Yeah.
okay? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the first question. So what were your first steps coming out of college, and like where did you go to school? Tell us about your college experience and what you did afterwards.
Okay, so I live in Austin, Texas, and I went to the University of Texas at Austin, with the horns, and I studied magazine journalism during the recession. So that's a trash thing to do. But my story is kind of hilarious because I graduated early and I didn't know. So I graduated the semester early, and I showed up to my advisor's office in like August or September, and she said, well, okay, here's your graduation application. And I was like, for what? It's only August. She's like, oh, in December you're done. And I was like, so I definitely wasn't prepared to graduate. I hadn't really thought about what I wanted to do in life specifically. I always knew that I wanted to be a reporter, a storyteller, work in journalism, but I didn't know what that looked like in the real world. So when I graduated in December instead of May, I kind of took that time to figure all of that out. I moved back home to Fort Worth, Texas, and freelanced for a little bit. And then I got a fellowship with the Phoenix New Times. So I moved to Phoenix for the Walter Cronkite, it's the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism at ASU, Arizona State University. And so I did that fellowship for a while. I was an arts and culture writer. And then after it ended, I was back at square one. And thankfully, I got a job, which is where I work now, 4 years later, with a company, naturallycurly.com, and they're the company I interned for in college. So full circle, I had to be unemployed to come full circle. So that was my journey out of college.
Cool, awesome. So tell us about like what you learned about like while interning, and I guess sort of like making your way into like professional working woman.
Right, so I learned that you have to come with your own ideas because people can only tell you what to do for so long before they're looking to you, whether it's because you're young, whether it's because you're part of a marginalized demographic. People in high places are looking to you, and you might not feel ready, you might not feel qualified, but you have to always be thinking of your own ideas and how you can contribute and how you can create a scenario in which only you can do what you do and you're irreplaceable, like Beyonce said.
So a lot of us are like at that point where we're about to graduate. A lot of us are just like gonna be moving on. It's kind of like weird. Some of us might be moving to new cities. So like, what advice would you give to like college students that are just like, you know, jumping out of their mom's house? Like me, I'm gonna be like leaving my mom's house.
Do every ridiculous dream or thing now, because even me, who's not even 5 years, well, maybe it's about to be 5 years post-graduation, I'm in a place where I can't take risks as much as I would like to, whether it's for financial reasons or like security reasons, or it just freaks me out now. So take all the risks that you want to take when you're fresh out of college, because you will never be more free. You will never be less tied down, depending on your situation. Some people are married in college, some people have kids in college. But if you don't have any of that, then this is the freest you'll be. So no dream is too ridiculous for fresh out of college.
So what inspired you to sort of get into, like you said, you did journalism and then you did some writing, and I think you said you do social media now, and as well as your YouTube. So like what inspired you to like start working in these fields, in the media field, I guess?
So yeah, like I was saying, I went to school during the recession. So there are never journalism jobs, but especially when I graduated. Not to discourage y'all, but yeah, so I was kind of in a place where I was like, where can I take the skills that I've learned, writing, storytelling, video production, where can I take those skills? And I might not be able to work for a magazine like I wanted, or a newspaper like I wanted, or a news publication in general, but I have to be able to take my skills elsewhere, and marketing for me was a great space to do that, because marketing is so vast that you can align yourself with a company that has the same values as you. So I work for a curly hair, natural hair company, and while I'm not the girliest girly girl, I am passionate about women. I'm passionate about women of color especially, and they're the ones who mostly have curly hair and natural hair. So I'm passionate about those demographics and telling their stories and promoting self-love. So that's why I decided to work here.
So you said you did freelance for a little while. Tell us about that experience.
Being a freelancer is trash. It is so hard. You feel, never in my life have I hustled for an invoice like I hustle when I'm a freelancer. It's very hard to create like a situation where you have consistent paychecks, which can be difficult. Granted, I was living at home, so I had a big weight lifted off my shoulders and I wasn't paying rent. But being a freelancer was very difficult. So I did guest blogging. I did some video work around town in North Texas. And yeah, it was a struggle, but it helped me keep my mind challenged, because that span of being not gainfully employed could have taken like a nosedive if I didn't keep my mind in the game somehow and keep challenging myself.
Tell us about your YouTube channel. Like, we've all been sort of hanging around your channel for a while because you're amazing. Tell us what like made you start that channel. Like, what was your inspiration, I guess? I don't know.
Okay, so I started making videos on Facebook way back in the day. I say back in the day, like 2008 is back in the day, but it kind of is. I would make these funny videos for my friends and send them to them, just like funny college videos of me in my dorm. And then Mark Zuckerberg would keep taking my videos down for copyright. So I decided to upload videos to YouTube, this new thing that I didn't really know what it was, just so I could share the link with my friends. It didn't really click that strangers could watch me on YouTube. But as time went on, people started to find my videos, and then I started working here as an intern, and that's where I started making the hair videos through my internship, and that's how I started to get a following of Black women specifically. And then over the years, I stopped doing hair because, look at me, and then I just started doing cultural commentary and comedy videos, storytelling, and it's just taken off from there.
How do you stay motivated to like keep up your channel? I think I would have like given up on YouTube like 2 days after I started it.
Well, I mean, that's a good point, because I do leave. I'm not one of those people who's like, hi, I make videos every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. Girl. I leave, and I feel like the people who watch my channel know that you might see me 1 month and you might not see me the next month. And leaving the internet, so to speak, every once in a while helps prevent burnout, because it's easy to get burnt out if you're constantly churning out content. It becomes a machine. So I think that's why I've been able to stick with it for so long, is I do leave.
So what's like your favorite video that you've made like up to this point? Like I think we've watched like a ton of your videos, but like, you know, which one's your favorite?
I always tell people this. I don't watch my own videos after I post them. So after I edit them, I've washed my face over and over, and I just like release it into the world, and I never watch it again. So unless somebody leaves a comment where they talk about a specific thing, and I'm like, now I have to watch my video. So my favorite video recently, I mean the Beyonce video, obviously. I love doing the Prince video because when he died, it was like my whole day sucked. Like I was just like, this sucks. And so I decided to make a video, and I didn't realize I was basically, a lot of people in the comments were like, this was the trillest eulogy I'd ever heard in my life. And I was like, what? That's what I did. Yes, that's what it was. So I really enjoyed that video.
Do you ever see yourself like doing full-time YouTube? Like, I don't know if that's like something you've ever thought about.
Maybe I would do full-time internet. I don't know if I would do full-time YouTube, just because I don't always want to make videos of myself. I enjoy being behind the scenes, since that is my skill set also. So I can see myself being full-time, like video production, internet stuff, but I wouldn't want to like be in front of the camera full-time.
You also have a series called Austin While Black. What sort of inspired you to make that? Because I haven't been to Austin. I want to visit Austin, but I have not been to Austin.
Y'all should come. It's 105 degrees.
So, like, what inspired you to make that?
What inspired us?
Yeah.
So UT Austin is a massive university, and it's really good at providing everything you need and creating a bubble. So if you go to UT, you never feel the need to leave or explore Austin in general. And they don't really do a good job of telling you about the other colleges in town. For example, there's an HBCU down the highway. I did not know there was an HBCU down the street, basically. And so when my best friend joined and I graduated, we both graduated from the journalism program. We realized, and we had gone and traveled and, you know, left college and then came back. And we realized we don't know much about this city, especially the Black population. And in recent news, Austin has been in the news as the fastest growing U.S. city. But on top of that, we are the only fast growing city with a declining Black population. So not only is the Black population not keeping pace, they're actively leaving this city. So that's like a major statistic, major data point. And so that was a narrative for a while. CNN, Texas Monthly, all these publications were posting that. And while that is a true statement, we felt that it erased the people who are still here and the people who still want to move here. And so we decided, okay, we know what it's like for the people who leave, but what about for the people who are still here? And so we decided to make a series called Austin While Black, and we profile kind of prominent-ish people in the Black community here in Austin, and talk about their experience in the various industries that they're in as a Black Austinite.
So what advice would you give to someone who is trying to start a YouTube channel? I know some people in here are trying to start a YouTube channel.
Advice, well, I will say the YouTube game has changed dramatically since I started. When I started, a webcam with like 144p resolution was what everybody was doing. And now people have drones, people have videographers when they travel, like just to photograph them. So it's wild, but I would say content and quality and consistency, question mark, because if you build enough of a following that enjoys you, they'll stick around even if you go on hiatus for a month. So I would say figure out what stories you want to tell and stick to it.
So I actually had a question about like the Beyonce video. I saw, you know, how all your friends were like screaming your name at the show because Beyonce actually played parts of her video on screen, big screen Beyonce show. So like tell us like how you found out about that and like, you know, like your reaction. I guess we kind of see it in the video, but
I was at my parents' house, so I did sign a release, right? So Beyonce's people contacted me, and then I passed out, right? I died, went back to life, and I signed a release that was basically like, yes, I still own my video, but you can show it, or you can do what you want with it. I did not know where, when, how many times, when. I didn't know anything. So time had passed, and I didn't forget, but it wasn't in the top of my brain anymore. And so one day I was at home, like back in North Texas, for Mother's Day, and I was at dinner, and my friend texted me an expletive, just like expletive. And I was like, whoa, what is he talking about? And then he texts me a video of my face, and I'm like, I don't get where you are. Like, what is happening? And it was the Houston show with Beyonce. And he was like screaming and crying, and then I was screaming and crying, and then I left the house, and I was just running up and down the street. I took a couple puffs of my inhaler from the meanwhile, my parents are sitting in the living room like, what are you doing? So yeah, that's how it happened.
I wanted to go ahead and open the floor to everyone in here. Does anybody have any questions that you want to ask?
You've mentioned storytelling through your videos a lot. How do you develop the skills to tell an engaging story, like through a video? Like, how would you suggest going about that?
Yeah, you have to tell a lot of sucky stories first. I made a video about this. I don't know if y'all have watched Ira Glass's video about beginners. Yes, you saw it. So you have to suck, because like Ira Glass says, you have to find the balance between your taste and your abilities. So everybody here has taste, and they have things that they like and a certain eye and a perspective, but your skills might not match what you see in your brain right now. And the only way to balance it out is to keep making stuff until it matches your taste. So I haven't matched my taste yet, but I will say, especially with Austin While Black, what we do is align ourselves with people who have interesting stories, and then kind of go from there. And then with my personal channel, I just try to be #totally relatable, right? So things that people connect with, whether it's a funny video about student loans, or it's a funny video about Drake, or anything like that. So you're engaging by meeting people where they are and talking about the things that both of y'all are interested in.
How long does it take you to edit one of your videos? Just one?
Maybe like 2 hours for like a regular video. Editing is my favorite part of making videos because I hate actually filming myself. I love editing because I put the comedy in my editing. So the comedic timing is often a work of editing, not what I'm saying. So that's my favorite part. It takes me about 2 hours, and I use iMovie. Like, sure, I learned Final Cut, sure, I learned Premiere, but iMovie works too.
All right. Okay, so I want to make sure I'm not blocking nobody. My question was, with your background in social media content and also in journalism, have you thought about expanding yourself to Turner Broadcasting?
Or like other various news channels.
To broadcasting in general.
Yeah.
Yes and no, because I don't know where the lines of professionalism and journalism are. I feel like maybe I've said too many like exclamatory things on my Twitter, or like made a few videos that people might deem unjournalistic, you know? So I've always struggled with that because I don't believe in this concept of objectivity. I believe in fairness, which is not being objective. It's not he said, she said. Oftentimes there is a right-ish answer. I don't know, I've thought about news, but as time has gone on, I've talked more to people's op-ed categories, or like their cultural commentary. So like HuffPo Black Voices instead of like HuffPo. So things like that, things that I can express my opinions.
As far as your YouTube content is concerned, what has your experience been with generating revenue through your videos, like Patreon or like ad revenue or whatever?
So Patreon is great, but number one, they have like security breaches every 6 months. So I don't feel comfortable with that. Also with Patreon, I know that I ghost people so much that my conscience won't allow me to ask for money on a monthly basis, knowing I might not make content on a monthly basis. But the way I monetize my videos now is I just use Google AdSense and the pre-roll ads. And over time, the CRM has been good enough to where I can pay a bill, you know what I'm saying? With my YouTube videos. The goal right now is to be able to pay rent. If I could pay rent, so on top of AdSense, which I don't think people should rely on for videos, I do brand deals sometimes. So, but I only do ones that make sense. So like hair videos, if it's a Black-owned business or a female-owned business, or recently I started a series called Smack Your Lip. So basically an excuse for me to do brand deals with food companies, right? Because people like the way I describe things. So I taste different food items, and I do all of those brand deals through websites like Revfluence and Grapevine Logic, and all of these little companies that connect brands with influencers and create like mini contracts and mini deals. So that's how I do it.
Is this your dream job? If not, what is your dream job?
This is my dream job-ish. You mean like my day job?
Yeah.
It's my dream job-ish. It has allowed me to do a lot of things I probably wouldn't be able to do if I took the journalism route. Because there's like a hierarchy in journalism, and it's like you have to pay your dues. But here it's a small company, it's a creative company, and I'm able to do so much on my own, and I'm able to direct so much and control so much. And so it's been a great starting point for me. And even with YouTube is not my dream job. I really want to kind of combine all the things I already do, but focus on documentary filmmaking, web series production, and writing, screenwriting. So yeah, it's like I'm there, but I got time to get there fully. So
Is there anything else that you kind of would like to tell us about what you do and who you are before we leave?
yeah, so I am starting to pitch more travel series and travel shows because that's something I'm interested in. So I got an opportunity to go to Thailand, random, but I'm going to Thailand in the fall. So that's what I'm working on, plus more Austin Well Black stuff. We're trying to get funding through PBS, and yeah, that's what I'm working on.
Didn't you just come back from like Costa Rica or something?
I did.
I like the start. You're already on your track. You're doing a good job.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for talking to us. We really enjoyed you guys. Give her a hand, guys. And feel free to like send updates. Tell us how these deals are working. We're all babies. We're all trying to learn from you. So
Cool.
thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Well, good luck, all of y'all.
Thank you. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.